We are back on WUSB Stony Brook 90.1 FM. You're listening to Country Pocket. And on the show today, we have Ross Thorn. His new album is Fitting In. And I saved this one for last. It's my favorite. I think it's your masterpiece.
Oh wow.
Pick-a-Dee Day.
Oh,
There's just so much to unpack there. Um, and it really builds on everything we talked about in the first half.
hmm
Um, you don't have to run away to try to run away from things. And here we sort of see a folksy granddad used to say,
hmm
sort of, it's a strange little way of saying that everything's fine. Just change your attitude, put a smile on your face.
hmm
Um, I don't think you necessarily go on to endorse that notion.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. The song is thoroughly a rejection of that notion and a rejection of smile it off. It's kind of inspired by, weirdly enough, by Lion King, when, Simba's dad gets trampled in a stampede, and then he meets two whimsical characters, and they're like, "Hey, man, no worries." And you're like, as you get older, you're like, I don't know. I think you should kind of worry about that. I think that's something to worry about and to process. So I kind of, I had the little lick of it and like the little melody, and I thought that was really cute and kind of a cute nonsense song that kind of comes full circle of, unpacking these, like things like, for me as like as a masculine person and the way that men are supposed to behave and these scripts that are written by generations before us that keep getting perpetuated, like the words man up or something like that. Um, and they're dangerous things to do and dangerous things to pass along. And so you see this character in the song who, used to hear those things from his granddad and then passes them along even to like the orphan that's on the street. And also like, yeah, the audacity to say something like that to an orphan is just like I thought was like crazy. And so yeah,
Yeah,
put
you
that in
crack
there.
some jokes on this album, but none are quite as dark as telling an orphan to smile. Like
Yeah.
that is pitch black humor, especially for a song based off The Lion King. Like
Right.
your influences are all over the place. Something fascinating comes out, and I especially like that the advice doesn't even rhyme by that point. We've like
Yeah.
we've lost the rhythm, we've lost everything. It's like uh this dream of distracting ourselves and telling ourselves it'll be better, or the prayer without action,
hmm
ignoring the problem. It feels like it all just collapses so beautifully in that song, going from maybe it'll work to, oh, this might actually be causing more harm now. Um,
Yeah. And how do you say that to somebody who's just gone through such a tragedy, like that in the final verse of that tune. So, um yeah, 100%. That's exactly where it's coming from.
yeah, and it's not just the Lion King. Like, look at the world right now. Like, um, you know, I get the need to I get the need to relax and calm down, but anyone who's telling you, you can solve your problems by doing some breathing exercises, like it feels like the same thing to me. Like that's not solving your problem.
Yeah. And there's a fine balance between, you know, songs that are, or at least in terms of music stuff, like songs that distract us or songs that entertain us, songs that let us do a breathing exercise, you know, quote unquote, and songs that will hopefully inspire us to do change and call out things. Because we need to take care of ourselves and be in good spots in order to make the change. And if we, you know, constantly spend our sphere, you know, our time in one sphere or the other, I think it's a little bit unsuccessful. So yeah, like it's not going to just be breathing exercises because holy crap, like everything is terrible. But you know, if we need to get in a good spot, a good headspace, and to feel motivated and hopeful, you know, sometimes we got to catch our breath. We have to get to that space in order to actually make change.
Yeah. As John Lewis used to say, when you pray, move your feet.
Mm,
Feel like you're putting together a musical representation of what it looks like to just pray.
yeah.
So I want to get around to one last line from the title track. In a world full of anger, I'll bear a grin.
Hmm.
You have, is that yourself on the cover of the album dressed as a clown?
Yeah, that is me.
For people afraid of clowns, I can't imagine a worse scenario than a 6'8" clown. So really,
Oh,
what you're doing by putting on that costume may be more cruel than you've ever imagined. But uh,
that's really funny because also we took that on like this railroad track here. I live in Duluth, and we took it on a railroad track here in Duluth that's like right next to some sidewalks. And so this one woman came up while we were shooting, and she's like kind of very confused and like recording like look at what I'm looking at. And I was sitting still like waiting for my picture to get taken, and no one's taking behind the scenes pictures. Like my friend Bird is doing costume, my friend Alan was doing the video or like the actual photo, and I was like, "Oh, could you send that to me?" And she's like, "How?" And I was like, "I can give you my number and you could text it to me." And she's like, "That's okay." And I was like, "Yeah, I actually don't blame you at all. I would not give my information to a 6'8" clown on the railroad tracks either."
uh, yeah, I'm not even sure I would have stopped to take pictures, man. I would have been out of there.
Yeah, the right move
Like,
is to just
whatever's going on, I don't want any part of.
Yep. That's the correct move.
But jokes aside, um, do you feel as though do you still feel the pressure to bear that grin? Or have you gotten to a place where the grin's off?
Yeah. For me, that line, I find like this cool like duality in that line. In one, you know, on one hand, it's the world is angry and you know, I'm angry in the world and I need to smile in order to, you know, placate those around me. And then on the other hand, you know, despite all of the angry folks and, you know, terrible things in the world, and this also to say like anger is a useful emotion, but you know, despite senseless anger and, you know, fear mongering and things like that, to be able to find a smile is really a gift. So I think I'm getting more towards that of despite the dystopian aspects of everything, um, I'm I'm able to find some joy, and I think that's really special.
So smiling not as a way to fit in, but as a quiet little rebellion to it all.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, gonna ask you to I feel like the big takeaway I got from this album is that, you have to go through it. It's not that easy. It's the challenges are real. You need to meet yourself where it is. So I'm gonna ask you to pick a song to close off the show. The only rule is it can't be anything you've had to do with writing, even for someone else. Uh, let's play a song that does the opposite of Pick-a-Dee Day and meets someone where they need to be met.
Hmm. That's a good that's a good prompt. A song that meets people where they need to be met. Yeah, actually this is a song that I have found a lot of comfort in and have been spinning on repeat for like the past 2 months is Nathan Evans Fox. His song Hillbilly Hymn, Okra and Cigarettes. So it's a gorgeous tune. And it's like, you can feel the love and the hope. And it just feels like starting over in the best possible way.
Well, man, we all find a little of that.
Yeah.
Ross Thorn, the new album is Fitting In. Thanks so much for fitting into this episode of Country Pocket.
Thanks for having me.